Just days after Donald Trump renewed efforts to push Russia and Ukraine toward peace negotiations, Washington has unveiled a major sanctions package targeting some of the Russian military's most important organizations. The U.S. State Department announced fresh non-proliferation sanctions against multiple Russian military bodies, defense-linked companies, and officials under the Iran, North Korea, and Syria Non-Proliferation Act. The move comes even as diplomatic efforts continue, adding a new layer of pressure to already fragile U.S.-Russia relations. At the heart of the sanctions is one of Russia's most important military formations, the Russian ground forces, the backbone of Moscow's land warfare operations in Ukraine. The United States has also sanctioned the Russian Main Missile and Artillery Directorate, widely known as GRAU, the organization responsible for overseeing Russia's missile forces, artillery systems, and military ammunition. Another key organization named is the Russian Defense Ministry's Directorate for Advanced Inter-Service Research and Special Projects, which focuses on advanced military research and special projects. The notice does not disclose the specific conduct that led to each designation. The sanctions extend beyond Russia's military institutions. Washington has also blacklisted the 1061st Material Technical Support Center, Gedeon Alpha Company LLC, International Invest Company, along with several Russian nationals identified in the notice. According to the State Department, these entities and individuals were determined to have engaged in activities that warranted action under the Iran, North Korea, and Syria Non-Proliferation Act, although the notice does not publicly provide supporting evidence or describe the alleged transactions. The penalties are sweeping. U.S. government agencies are now barred from purchasing goods or services from the sanctioned Russian entities. They will also be cut off from U.S. government assistance programs, prohibited from receiving American defense articles or military services, and stripped of access to new U.S. export licenses for controlled technologies. Existing export licenses are also suspended. The measures took effect on July 24th and are set to remain in force for 2 years, unless lifted earlier by the Secretary of State. The timing is likely to draw international attention. The sanctions arrive while President Donald Trump continues to publicly pursue a diplomatic settlement to the war in Ukraine and has repeatedly called for negotiations with President Vladimir Putin. Although the State Department's action is based on non-proliferation law rather than the peace process itself, the announcement underscores that Washington is continuing to tighten restrictions on key elements of Russia's military establishment, even as diplomatic engagement remains on the table. This linkage is an editorial observation. The notice itself does not connect the sanctions to ongoing peace talks. Unlike broader financial sanctions, these measures are specifically tied to U.S. non-proliferation law and focus on preventing access to U.S. government contracts, defense exports, and sensitive controlled technologies. By naming the Russian ground forces, the Main Missile and Artillery Directorate, and a Senior Defense Ministry Research Directorate in the same action, Washington has placed some of Russia's most significant military organizations under another layer of U.S. restrictions. The latest move signals that even amid renewed diplomatic contacts, strategic pressure on Russia's military infrastructure remains firmly in place.